Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So I'm joined by a really special guest today, James Robinson, PGA professional golfer and YouTuber. Welcome.
See you well?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, mate. What we're going to be doing today, pal?
So today I'm going to take Tom through a little bit of a golf lesson. Nothing too serious. We're going to try and have a little bit of a laugh. He's got my shoes on, so if you say he wants to get into golf, put the pressure on yourself, mate. Really. We're going to see if you can hit one of these.
Right.
Do you know what one of these?
Driving range?
That's a driver.
Driver.
So we're going to see just how far I can hit it. You're a big lad. You've probably got a foot on me. You should be able to knock it past me. So I believe we're going to see if you can knock it past me today.
Right, let's give it a go.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Right. So mate, I know we said we're going to start with driver, but I'm going to give you a little iron just to start with because you never really want to start with something with a shaft length like this. It's very difficult to control and there's not a lot of loft on there as well.
Okay.
Giving you a 6 iron, so that's a little bit shorter, it's a little bit heavier because it's a steel shaft. There's a bit more loft on there. So all I'll do, mate, I'll show you how to have you had a golf lesson at all?
No.
No. So I'll show you how to stand at it and how to hold it.
Okay.
I'm going to have the ball just about in the middle of my stance. Yeah? Feet are shoulder width apart, so I'm nice and athletic. Imagine if you're doing a squat. That'd be shoulder width, would it?
Yeah.
I've not been to the gym for a while, but yeah, so that'd be, you'd want to be nice and athletic. You're going to bend from your hips a little bit.
Yep.
And a nice little bit of kind of flexion in your knees. From there, it's quite lucky here that with this club, it's black and white there. So your left hand, you're right-handed, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Your left hand is going to be on the black, right hand on the white, and just interlock your fingers a little bit there. So index finger and little finger just there.
Lovely.
From there, all we're going to do is turn the club back to the top of your backswing. You notice how when the club goes back, your weight's on that right foot.
Okay.
And from there, all we're going to do is go through to the left foot there. Over to you.
Let's have a go.
Let's get that hand-eye coordination.
Is that a good setup?
Really good setup, mate, actually, yeah.
Oh, where did that go?
Good effort. Just went a little bit left. That's okay, then we'll go again. Oh, stop it. Get that finish.
Sign me up.
Am I being punked here? Is that,
Sign me
have you
up.
done this before? That's really, really frustratingly good. It's really, really good.
It's a brilliant feeling as well when you hit the ball, like that second shot there where I hit it, you know, I feel like you get a really good feeling from...
There's no feeling like it,
yes,
I don't think.
Hitting it perfectly. So, you're a PGA golf pro,
yep.
But I think your YouTube channel is what you're renowned for currently, with having 230,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
So that's pretty phenomenal.
It's a good number. Yeah, it took some work, but it's, yeah.
So talk me through that then. Take me to the beginning. So obviously you said that you started out with the lessons. Talk me through how you started with the lessons, that journey, and then how it progressed into the YouTube channel.
It's an interesting one really because I've always enjoyed sport and I've always wanted to be involved in sport somewhere or the other. I wasn't very good at football. I played rugby a little bit at school and stuff, but never really to a good level. And then my dad always really enjoyed golf, so I used to go and play golf with my dad when I was younger. And got to quite a good point early. I wouldn't say I was especially good, but I could hit it and play and got the bug and really enjoyed it. And then from there, really, it was more a case of, can I do this for a job? And I'm quite, I wouldn't say I'm pessimistic, but I'm a realist about stuff. And I had a conversation with my dad and my brother, my older brother's a good player as well. He played off scratch. And he was like, well, you want to do it for a job? And I said, well, yeah, I'd love to do something like that. And we had a realistic conversation that I wasn't good enough to play full time and earn money full time playing because there's that many good people out there. There's that many, I mean, you look at the local area now, there's dozens of really, really high profile people playing well and earning a living in it. So I was never going to be one of them. I was never that good. But I wanted a job in it. I wanted to feel part of it. So this is a long story round. I went to work for my dad. Instead of going to university, I went to work in a factory that my dad was running.
Right.
And that was making military defence units for a company called Hesco Bastion. So building Camp Bastion, essentially. And just did that for a couple of years. It was good money for my age. I was only 18, but the hours were really long. It was really hard graft. It was working with proper men as well. When you're 18 and you think you're a man, and then you're working with 30, 40-year-old men who, yeah, it was difficult, but I learned a lot about myself and learned a lot about what I didn't want to do. And I thought, I can't carry on doing this. So left that, went to go and do my PGA qualification, took a massive drop in money. Literally I was earning not a lot at all. at the time going through buying my first house and stuff, and like I was still happier doing that than I was on quite a lot of money in the factory. There was always an end goal to try and build up a business and build a coaching business and try and do well for yourself. I think you always try and do as well for yourself as you can, don't you? Even when you're younger. But from there, start the qualification, got through it fairly, not easily, but got through it. Like did all the exams, never failed an exam, never failed an assignment. It's basically like a degree that you do within golf. And then just kind of really enjoyed it and kept progressing on, living and working in a sport that you love. Like that's never lost on me that you're doing well because you're enjoying yourself every day you go to work. And everyone says if you do something you love, you never work a day in your life.
Very true.
I mean, I think sometimes that's not quite true because if you want to excel in it, you have to diversify. It's like me with the editing now, and maybe like Laura works for me, my wife works for me now, and obviously reaching out to businesses to work with and promote and market essentially. So you have to kind of branch off a little bit. But yeah, that's kind of how I got into it. And then trying to grow the business, the coaching business, was how YouTube started. And here we are. Right, so we're going to move on to driver. And all we're going to do is have the ball further forward in the stand, so it's more off your left toe.
Yeah.
And you're going to stand a little bit wider, so wider than shoulder width.
Right.
The reason for that is because this is a longer shaft, it's a longer lever system, so we just need to be more in control of it. So you imagine a crane that reaches out further, needs a wider base to be able to do that. So, but again, I'm not going to change too much with you, mate. That was really good. So all we're going to do, again, load up to the top, feel like you're on that right side, and rather than hit down on it like you were doing, just feel like you rotate around your body, because the reason I would move that ball position forward is because we want to launch it in the air, and obviously it's got a little bit less loft on it.
Sure.
So hopefully, like that.
Christ.
How's that one? Yes.
Belter. What's the furthest you've hit?
I'm not actually a huge hitter. I mean, at the staggering heights of 5'9", and slightly overweight at the moment, it's not something which is the strength of my game. Massive strength of my game is the short game stuff. So chipping, putting, that's generally how you would build a score.
Lovely.
I generally I do a lot of club testing for my job as well. So that will have gone around between 270 and 275 carry.
Yeah.
And then depending on the ground conditions, run out a bit more. Ball speed about 159, spinning about 2,000. Is that all right? That ball a bit more further forward. So move your body that way a bit.
This way?
There we go, yeah. Oh, mate, great shot. See, already you're thinking, I didn't quite strike that right, are you?
Yeah.
That was good, like for one of your first efforts with a driver, that's fantastic. The speed there was really good. I'm a bit worried for later, like if you get one, I think I might lose. I really don't want to lose. Great shot. I'm sensing when we start this competition, you're just going to catch one that just straight over.
So it's interesting, isn't it? I was having a conversation with someone yesterday. I can imagine that 5 years ago, where you're at right now, you were dreaming at 5 years ago.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So where you're at in 5 years' time, you're going to get there and think, well, hell, this is where I was dreaming at 5 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I would be dreaming at now. I think I'd probably be dreaming at probably just enjoying time with my son.
Yeah, I suppose it differs, doesn't it? When you know, before you have kids, you're very selfish in everything that you do. Everything is about you and what you're trying to achieve and what goals you have. Yeah. But then as soon as, and I'm speaking from what people have told me because I don't have kids, but you know, as soon as you have a kid, everything changes. And obviously your goals and your ambitions will change, and it'll be all for them as opposed to for yourself. Yeah. So. Yeah,
I would imagine so. I mean, again, he's not born yet, so I don't know how I'll react to that. But yeah, certainly would like to probably not work quite as much and have more time and be present more than anything, really.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing, you know, for a lot of father figures. It's, you know, you can earn millions and millions of pounds, but if you're never there, then.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you're at 230,000 subscribers. Is there a goal in mind of where you want the channel to get to?
I'd like to try and get to 250,000 this year. That's probably more a personal, probably a, what's the word, like an ego boost more than anything. That's not going to make a blind bit of difference to my business. Like the people who watch my channel are there, and I'm very grateful. The audience is there. I've got a business partner, Chris, who I work with most days, one of my best friends, so I get to spend time with one of my best friends. We have a second channel called Get Good at Golf. So that's like in its infancy. We've got about 15,000 there. there's still a really good core audience of people who want to get better at golf, get good at golf, and they really enjoy it. So, just carry on kind of building stuff one brick at a time. And as long as I'm still enjoying it, that for me is the main thing. Like if ever I get that feeling of I used to have driving down the M1 towards the factory at 6 a.m, I'll go and do something else.
Yeah.
Because that isn't.
And that's brilliant though, because I think so many people stay doing the same thing every single day because it's easier and it's comfortable. And to get to a point where you think to yourself, actually, I'm not enjoying this anymore. I'm going to do something else. Because I think that for a lot of people in life that struggle with their mental health, it's because they're not enjoying something that they're doing every day, but then unfortunately they're not doing anything about it.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to realise that, you know, if you get to a point in life where you're not enjoying something, and don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Go do something else.
It sounds so simple, doesn't it?
It does. It's easier said than done, but it goes back to this thing of, you know, try something else. If it fails, then it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
You know, the lessons that you'll learn from when you fail are far greater than the ones that you will from when you succeed.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to reiterate that if you aren't enjoying something in life, try something else. If it doesn't work out, then
just try something else.
Try something else. Life's too short to be doing things that you don't want to be doing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm well aware that I've found something that I'm probably fairly skilled at, that I enjoy, that I can do as a career, and that, like I said earlier, that's never lost on me. Like I feel like I'm very grateful for that, and that's probably why I put the work in, because there's always someone willing to put the work in.
Yeah.
They might not maybe be as skilled, they might not maybe be as knowledgeable, but there's always someone there who'll outwork you.
Yeah.
So as long as you kind of keep up with that, then I think you're probably going to be all right.
Yeah. No, definitely. Is there anything that I can imagine? You know, you from what you've said, you've worked really, really hard to get the channel where it is. I can imagine along the way you've had some difficult days or some difficult times. Is there anything that you would share as to what you have said to yourself or how you kept yourself in the right mindset to get through those difficult times or those difficult days?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of difficulty there. Like you can imagine the online world can be a cesspit at times, can't it, of negativity. And like I worked out quite early that on YouTube you can block words. So if there's any words that probably irk you, like I don't know your circumstances, but there might be a couple of words if someone wrote in a comment that might. And the funny thing is on YouTube you can read 100 good comments, then there's one shitty one, and you're like, oh. And it used to probably get to me a little bit, but I really don't care anymore. Like I've blocked out a lot of the stuff I don't want to hear, like, and from that you probably just. And it's funny because when you block those words, people can still type it. They still feel like they've posted it, but you don't see it.
Yeah.
So they're just shouted into a cave, and it echoes back at them, and that's it.
Yeah.
So they can have their thrills doing that, and then, like, I think the real world, apart from the online world, is like a far more difficult place. Like I said earlier, we're having our first baby in May. We actually miscarried on the first one.
I'm sorry to hear that, mate.
Let's come to terms with it now. It's very difficult at the time. Still very difficult for Laura. But when you go through something like that, not many people know that they went through that. So when people are quite happy to type, "Oh, you put some weight on," or whatever, like, fair enough, you write whatever you want to write, but you've got no idea what someone else is going through in their head. And for me, like, yeah, you can take that and you can take it as criticism, or you can take it and just throw it away and think, well, there's a lot worse going on in the world than someone typing like whatever they want to say about you. Because often when people say something negative to you, they're actually saying what they're uncomfortable about in their own skin.
I was just about to say that. Someone said to me once, if anyone ever says anything negative about you, online or in person, you know, it's nothing against you, it's their own insecurities, and that's the reason why they're saying it.
Yeah.
So remember that sometimes when somebody does say something to you that's not very nice.
Yeah.
So.
And I think it probably just toughens you up a little bit as well for the stuff that happens in your real life. You've still got to be present with it, and you've still got to take it in and like process it. But you probably, because you've maybe read so much, or I mean, I've even had people come up to me and like not say nasty things, but like just be awkward and maybe probably say nasty things actually, to be fair. But you're that thick-skinned with it because you've had it so much online. It's like, oh, well, whatever, like, get on with it.
I think a lot of it as well is it's about realising that. I think when people say comments like that, it comes from insecurities, but it also comes from jealousy. And I think it's easier said than done. But once you realise that when people do make those comments, like I think you obviously have done, you know, you just let them go over your head.
Yeah.
And it's I always think it's very sad in a way, because like you said, you can have 100 good comments, but you completely disregard all those 100 good comments when one negative comment is said.
I think a bit of that's human nature, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like
Everyone thought you focus on the negative, don't you?
And it's horrible because the people who are taking the time out of their day, to watch my 10-minute video, but then also maybe spend 30 seconds thinking of something, typing it. And like a lot of the comments are lovely. A lot of what I get, because I post at 1 p.m. UK time every day. So in the US, that's like 7 a.m., 6 a.m. Yeah. So a lot of people will be like, just having my morning coffee with James, have a great day. Yeah. There's a guy called Joe. It's Joe from Bama, Alabama, I imagine. And he says, morning from Bama, James, doing this today, have a great day, bang. Every day without fail.
Oh, brilliant.
And I probably don't reply to that as much as I should. And thinking about it now, I definitely should, because he's investing every day, that time, having his morning coffee. So he's investing that, so why shouldn't I be? Like, if I'm more invested in the guy who's calling you fat, there's something wrong there, isn't there? You've crossed your wires.
But like you said, though, it's human nature that in a human, they will always focus on the negative rather than the positive.
Yeah.
And that's just how we're wired.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and it's always going to be the same. But, I think along the way, if you try and flip it on its head and try and look at the positive rather than the negative, I think the world will be a little bit of a better place.
I think it would be for everyone, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, Tom, you've had your lesson. A good lesson, I think. You look particularly good with the irons, so we're going to go with driver. You don't want to win. Still that competitive edge there. I'm going to hit one shot, see how far I can get it out there. We've got it on the screen here so the guys can see exactly. We're going to go total distance, okay, because obviously the ball's going to land and then run. If you can get within 10 yards of me, obviously being a pro, I think that's a good effort. So you can have 3 goes, I'll have 1.
Let's do it.
So the pressure's on me because I need to hit a good one. You're going to have 3 goes at this.
Let's do it. Loser has to buy the other one a coffee.
Right, I'm happy with that. Let's see where it's gone. It doesn't look bad, actually. That doesn't look bad at all. Where are we? Wait for it. It's coming. Oh, so I said earlier between 270 and 275, didn't I?
Yeah.
276. That's not bad for me, especially not warmed up. 301 total. Ball speed at 159. I think I said about that earlier as well, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
That will have gone around between 270 and 275 carry.
Yeah.
And then depending on the ground conditions, run out a bit more. Ball speed about 159. There you go, mate. So you got 3 goes. To be honest, anything over 250 I think is a really good effort for someone who's fairly new to golf. So you got 3 goes.
Let's have a go.
I'll find you 3 pretty new balls as well. Oh, it's nearly so good as well. I said earlier about getting that loft.
Yeah.
Just a bit more loft would help that launch. But if you're having lessons, I don't think you'd particularly. 164. I think we've got more in you than that. Just got the ground a bit.
Okay, yeah. Last one. This is it. Pressure's on.
This is it.
Pressure's on.
Nice. Nearly, mate. Nearly. Have to go and get a better coach.
Cracking session, that, mate. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Lovely stuff. I'll try and get better for next time. So, you've built your YouTube channel to where it is now, and you've got the goal in mind that you want to get to 250. Is there anything else in the pipeline? Again, I appreciate you've got a baby on the way.
Yeah.
Is there anything
very much in the pipeline?
It's coming up very, very soon.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you have in mind that you want to achieve, or you want to get to, or?
Probably just keep enjoying it is the main thing. Yeah. Like I said earlier, if the love for it went, I'd probably find it difficult to do it. And obviously it is my business, and it's very much. Don't get me wrong, I can stand here and say I enjoy it as much as I want to, but I like bringing money in, and I like having nice things, and I like living where I live. And if that stops, then it's a different world for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
So obviously I want to look after the baby growing up, and I mean, Laura's doing a fantastic job, not just being pregnant, but also working with me on the business as well.
Yeah.
So just keep those cogs turning.
What does she do for the business?
So Laura does a lot of the kind of marketing and answering emails and invoicing and all the stuff I'm absolutely terrible at. She said to me the other day, she said, you must have thousands of money that you've not claimed on invoices just because you're useless. I probably have. I'm so bad at stuff like that. I'm dyslexic as well, so Like I did okay at school. I got like the bare minimum GCSEs and stuff. Got a couple of A levels, but I've never been like, oh, let me get that invoice and do everything right, and then send it off and chase it. And I'm so unorganised. So she's kind of stepped in and probably given me a boot up the backside, really.
I think that's inspiring for people though that do have dyslexia. You know, because I think some people have that diagnosis and then they let it set them back and hold them back. But
Yeah.
I think they're living proof that even with that, you know, you can still achieve amazing things.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously being dyslexic myself, it probably a lot of people won't know that, but it's there's a Richard Branson quote. I mean, he's one of the most famous dyslexic people in the world, isn't he? And he said, because I can't think inside the box, I have to think outside the box.
Yeah.
And as soon as I heard that, I was like, yeah, I'll take that. Because for me, probably what I do now was thinking a little bit outside the box at the time.
Yeah.
I know obviously social media now it's probably more inside the box than anything else, but yeah, like for me, it's you can either let that be an excuse. Like I used to struggle with like probably English and stuff like that at school, but I, mean, I got a C, so like I put the work in, had a private tutor. I mean, I remember being young, going to like these special classes where I used to do like it was a dyslexia specialist and like doing all these stuff and spinning on chairs. I laugh about it now. Like me and my mum and dad have a right laugh about it now, but at the time they're probably really worried that the son's going to grow up. And I mean, I once wrote what did I write? I wrote a school report entirely from right to left on the page.
Right.
Like trying to do that now is quite a skill, because I wrote my mum's 60th birthday card. I wrote it the other way, like because she that was on purpose though. Yeah, like the school report. She told me like she picked up and she like cried because I'd done it the entire wrong way. So I thought, oh, I'll get this. On the 60th birthday, I wrote "Dear Mum." I'm thinking, how have I done this for a full page like by accident before? But yeah, like again, little funny stories in our family. It's
But it makes sure you are the person.
yeah, absolutely. Like that's no, I don't think it's necessarily shaped who I am today, but it's definitely probably part of it.
Yeah, definitely. Just going back to how you stay in the right mindset, you know, is there anything that you would give tips on, you know, especially given how well you've done with the channel, you know, what do you say to yourself when you, let's say for example, you wake up, you think, I really can't be asked to film today. What do you say to yourself in the morning to think, come on, let's go do it, let's get it today?
Probably often, because it does happen. Like, I think you're probably not human if you don't have that morning where you wake up and you go, oh.
Yeah.
But you could still be in the factory. Could still be working for my dad. I mean, my dad's retired now, but could still be doing that. Could still be, I don't know, doing loads of hours in a pro shop, selling like golf equipment and stuff. And as soon as you stop having that motivation, someone's there to take it from you.
Yeah.
So I think unless you actually put that effort in and that work in, you can soon, like, there's this phrase, isn't there, about on the way up and the way down, and you can soon be back on your way down if you don't try and, like, there's no plateau, it's either up or down. Yeah. So like, just put the work in, even if there are days when you don't fancy it. And I try to have enough stuff filmed so that if ever I have one of those days, I'll have an editing day. Because I think it does show on the camera that if you don't want to be there, why should someone want to watch you? Yeah. So the days where, like this morning, I've been here with Chris and we've filmed 8 videos for the I'll Get Good at Golf channel. So that's only 2 weeks worth of content. It was a little bit cold, but we both woke up, we're buzzing to be here, a couple of coffees and then out and done it. And the content will speak for itself, that you can tell that we both want to be there. Yeah. Whereas if we were like, oh, God, we need a video for today, we need to go in and, hi guys, and literally if you're forcing something out like that, people will tell and they won't watch. So it'll show in your analytics. It's brilliant though, that the fact that if you have those days, you just say to yourself, right, I need to get up and get on with it because it's going to show in my work. If you know, the fact that I really can't be bothered today. Absolutely, and probably just trying not to force it, but I suppose that, like you said earlier, it's an element of gratitude, isn't it? It's saying to yourself, you know, I'm getting up and doing something that I do love, despite how I feel this morning. Because I could still be working in the factory. Yeah. I could still be doing the things that I didn't want to do, but I'm not. I'm waking up and doing something that I do want to do. Yeah. And I think when you remind yourself of that and you tell yourself that you're grateful, I think it switches in your head and you think, you know, let's go get it. Yeah. I might start doing ice baths. Every single morning, I tell myself I really don't want to get in it. God, yes, I didn't get one this morning. It was too cold. And now I do get a cold shower though. I get one or the other. Yeah. So, but thanks for the chat, mate. It's been great to understand, you know, your journey and get an insight to how you got to where you are today. So I really appreciate it. Thank you. Brilliant. Thanks for having me. Cheers, mate. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.